Welcome back, everybody. In this video we're going to put a couple of our textures to use and actually create something. In this case I'm going to create another thing that was asked about with the 2D course, how to make a decent looking crate for a game level. So I've created a document. This one is not 1024, it's 512 by 512, which is more than big enough for a crate inside of a 2D game. I have my metal stone that we just worked on, and I have one of my woods that I've created that I'm going to pull from. Now in both cases I've hit Control Shift Alt E to create that snapshot to grab from. So the first thing I'm going to do is just grab this entire chunk of wood from the picture, Control A, Control C, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it in. And it's twice the size of this. So I'm going to hold down Shift and just size this down a little bit. And a little bit bigger is fine. I'll hit Enter. Alright, we've got that. Now, one of the first things that I want to do is crop this, just to make sure I've got it down to my edges. Now I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to go to my brush. I'm going to select one of the darker areas on here. Then I'm going to make it a little darker still from that, just so we're getting a nice color match. I'm going to use a nice hard brush. Make it pretty small. What do we got? 6? That should do fine. Make sure my opacity is at 100%. And I'm just going to pick about how wide I want the border of this box to be. And I'll start just inside that. So I'll click, hold down Shift, and pull it down. I'll do the same thing on the other side here. Probably border's going to be around here. So somewhere in here. And roughly the same width, but not exactly. I'm freehanding this on purpose. Otherwise we could just measure it out. But I want these to be a little bit off for each one. Like the panels weren't all exactly the same. Alright, now I'm going to take this layer. I'm going to duplicate it. You see it gets a little darker yet. But I'm going to make it super dark, basically black. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Levels, and I'm just going to push my black all the way over. And there we go. Now I'm going to bring this down under here. And we're back to our brown. But I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Just to give that a little fuzziness around the edge. Not too much. In fact, I'm going to try pushing this up. And I kind of actually like this on top a little bit better. No problem. I'll take my brown and do the same thing. Throw some Gaussian blur on it. Yeah, that makes me happy. Now we're getting a pretty solid line that appears to kind of have a sharp edge with some shadow around it, which makes it look a little indented. That's what I'm after, so I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, I'm going to go back to my wood texture and deselect everything. I'm going to go back up to my marquee selection. I'm going to switch from normal to fixed size. I'm going to do about 64 pixels by 1024. And you see we get this nice selection in here. I don't want to do that. going to slide it over to an edge. Going to hit Control C. Make sure my top layer is selected. Hit Control V. And we get another piece of wood in here. That's not too bad. That's a pretty good guess. Alright, so we have this fitting in there. We can see it's quite a bit larger, so we can fiddle around with moving it a little bit. There we go, that's not bad. I'll deselect that and Photoshop and its weird lines. I'm going to hit Control J, Control T, and then I'm just going to rotate this 180. Apply that, and I can move this over here. Just so we get some different grain going on. We're not seeing exactly the same thing. So that's not bad. Alrighty. I'm going to do the exact same thing with this one. Control T, well, Control J to copy it. Control T. Right click, but this time I'm only going to rotate it 90. And that's going to let me pull it up here and place it over these other two. I'll hit Control J. Well, I forgot to enter. So enter, Control J, Control T. I'm going to flip this horizontally and pull it down here and shuffle it around a little bit. And maybe something like that. Whatever makes you happy, just to break it up, make it a little bit different. Now, if we look at our top two layers, we can see that we have the bottom and the top piece right there. I'm going to hit Control E to collapse those. I'm going to come down just so I can see a little better. I'm going to turn off this background for the moment. I'm going to come up here, zoom in a little bit, Control plus. And I'm going to take my polygon lasso tool, not my regular lasso tool, my polygon. Just start in here, click right in this corner, go right down to the other corner, and then the part, I'm going to go around the part that I want to cut away on this top piece, which is this outside edge. And I'll hit delete, Control D, and we get this nice kind of, oh, wow, look how that lines up. That was unexpected. We get this nice corner. So we'll do the same thing all the way around. Always making sure that we wrap around the part we want to get rid of. So we don't want to go this way. Delete it out. Right up there in the corner. Come right off the corner. Delete it out. Control D to deselect. Now we have these nice corners going on. Alright, now we can collapse these three layers. So I've got this one selected. I can hold down select and pick the bottom one. Can right click and merge layers. Now this has all become one nice layer. We have what's shaping up to look like a pretty nice box. Now I am going to go in, hold down Control and select this. Oh, now see, I've still got all this extra that I forgot about. So Control D, crop tool, enter, which will show all these extras. Enter again. Now we've got those out of there so they won't mess up with stuff. Alright, so Control and click on the picture, and I have a selection of that entire layer. And I'm going to come in, go back to my brush, got my dark color going on. And I'm going to do basically the same thing that I did with my polygon lasso. Get right outside the selection. And do I want to do this hard? Yeah, we'll do it hard. I'm going to do it on a new layer though, just in case it's messy. So I'm creating a new layer. Hold down Shift. Hold down Shift, click again. And I'm going to duplicate that, Control J. And I'm going to push that duplication all the way to black. Take my bottom brown layer, throw some Gaussian blur on it, just like we did before. Okay. And because we'd thrown it on this too, they're now not matching. So let's go ahead and do that here. Going back out. Alright, and guys, you notice the fade out here. I ran a little bit long creating this, wasn't really paying attention to the clock, so I've split this video in two. We'll pick it up in the next one. I'll see you there.